going on? Mike Jimenez here. Good buddy Sean Quintero with us. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio, Bexar County. Normally, we have a 2-minute intro that people jump onto, but the fact of the matter is that we're doing this from my house because Joe is on vacation. He's on daddy duty driving back from Kansas. So we're going to wait a couple of minutes before we really get going, make sure that everything's working correctly, making sure that people come in on the chat. Sean, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, but looking at this thing, it looks like we can be brothers.
It can be. We've only known each other for 30 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Dude, has it been that long?
It's been a long time.
Has it been that long?
A lot of nights playing basketball, that's for sure.
So Joe is texting me right now. Did I log in? So I am checking to see, are we actually on right now?
Let me check.
We are on. We are on right now. So things are going. So let me see if we are on Twitter as well, but we're going to get going in a couple of, we're going to get going for sure. Okay, yeah, we are on everything.
Okay.
We are. So I'm going to text Joe right now. We are on live. Okay.
Where do we see the comments?
So the comments are coming in. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
People are, there you go. So Garrett is reaching out to us right now saying that we are on, and Chris Gonzalez letting us know what's going on. We're going to get the show still going in about a minute or so. Get some time for people to get on. Typically, we have that 2-minute intro that Joe produced and lets people know that the Alamo City Sportscast comes from San Antonio, west side, Bexar County. Also lets people know that they can actually tip us, can get the show going. There's a lot of technology that's involved in this. But for those of you who don't know, this is Sean Quintero. And Sean and I have been really good friends for a long, long time. In fact, I met Sean when I was 14 years old at Holmes High School. And he's a big part of this podcast, whether you guys know it or not. He sometimes comes out on the stream of the private chat that we have here on YouTube. By the way, we're 894 subscribers strong. But on top of that, this is the guy that helped get us Goldberg. This is the guy that helped get Frank Harris on this show. So part of the interviews that we're getting is because Sean has been proactive in meeting people and pitching the idea of them being on this show, and they're saying yes. So I want to thank you for that. But so since you've never done a podcast, so we'll let people know you were a little bit nervous coming into this because you're like, dude, I've never done a podcast. And don't get me wrong, I drive the show, so I'll talk 70% of the time. But I think this is a good idea to give a tutorial on how to do a podcast. So for those of you who've never had a podcast before, I used to have a radio show. So I got some really good coaching from Rob Thompson and good coaching from Jason Minix and Ryan Nagel and especially Rudy J. They would always say that the first thing you need to do is welcome people to the show and then list the agenda, right? Okay. Just give the menu of items that we're going to talk about today.
So coaching involved, but for me, it's just jump right in.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes, I've been coached, and now you're being coached by me.
Okay. Perfect.
So the first thing you do is you do what's called setting the table. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about the fact that the NBA Finals are set. Boston Celtics, Dallas Mavericks are going to get going in several days. They're going to have a little bit of a break between now and then, but the Mavericks took care of the T-Wolves yesterday, beat the living crap out of them, took care of them handily yesterday. So we're going to get into that. Kyrie Irving, I asked the question. There's a poll on my Twitter account, MJ Acquired Taste, asking the question, is Kyrie Irving already a Hall of Famer? Or is this chip, does he need to win 4 more games, get that second ring to legitimately become a Hall of Famer? We're going to get into some entertainment news. Yesterday, we announced the fact that Lenny Kravitz had announced the fact that he is no longer having sex, that he's gone 9 years without having sex.
It's a long damn time.
That's a long time. But now there's a famous rapper from back in the day who's clowning on Lenny Kravitz, saying, what the hell are you doing, my man? Use your pecker. Let your pecker fly. Do something. So we'll get into that as well. Obviously, those who are on the private chat that we have here on Facebook and on Twitter and on YouTube can chime in and be part of the show. And if you have any questions for Sean, because Sean, like I said, has known me since I was 14 years old. If you have any questions about who I was as a kid, this guy would know.
Already getting one from Mario over here.
Okay, so Mario Cavazos reaches out to us and says, Sean, since you went to Holmes with Mike, please tell us something embarrassing that Mike did during your time there. You know what? We will get there.
That's
an end of the show type of thing. Let me write down some notes
Plus,
here.
I need to think about that.
Embarrassing high school moments. I'm going to put that down as on our to-do list for today. Did have breakfast in the hood, though. Lupitas.
Okay.
This morning, papas con huevo with cheese and bacon. Had a carne guisada with cheese and guacamole.
A little upsetting to hear that because I thought after this we'd be going to lunch.
Yeah, I'm going to owe you on one. I'm going to owe you on one when it comes to it. Yeah, you look as disappointing right now as my dogs do that are outside right now.
Yeah, you won't let them in.
It was drizzling. You know what? It's perfectly fine if they're outside when it's drizzling. You know why? They're animals. They'll be okay. But people asking the question, how big was that girl that beat up Jimenez at Oyster Bay? Oh, my goodness.
I wasn't there at Oyster Bay.
How evil can Mike be?
Okay. I mean, here's the thing is once high school kind of let out, I think we kind of went
separate ways. You moved out of state.
Right. And it wasn't, I didn't move out of state right away, but I think I had a different group of friends than you did. So as far as like the clubbing thing and maybe going out to bars, I don't think we went out too much like that.
No, and even to this day, we go to Pete's place every once in a while and get some drinks, but kind of reconnected since I'm going through my divorce. And by the way, we'll also be talking later on about the reaction to me saying that June 1 is the start of teacher mating season. There was a guy that reached out to me on Twitter yesterday, super offended, and I told him to shut the F up. And I said, the unfollow button is on the top right. He was like, you know what you should be talking about how teachers are underpaid and how they should be uplifted and how awful of a job they have and the bad parents. And I was like, dude, it's an effing joke, man. It's actually not a joke. It's true. Teacher mating season is a legit thing. I have friends who are female teachers who are like, oh my God, that is accurate. I never really thought about it, but we do look for dudes. We do look for D from June 1 to August 15. My female friends who are teachers, several of them have said that is actually fact. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. So people are asking the question, when are the listeners, the Necios, going to get half-price drinks over at PF Shakes?
Bro, come see me today. I'll be there at 2 o'clock today. It starts at 3 and it ends at 7.
There you go.
But you got to be in the bar area.
Got to be in the bar area if Sean's going to try to work a little bit of magic. But very cool, man. So we're going to go for about an hour and 15 or so. And sorry, I'm still trying to get used to this technology along the way. We miss Joe because Joe is the guy that runs all the technology and pushes the buttons while I just sit there, look pretty, and I start talking. And you guys see me surfing the net while I'm doing things. I can't even surf the net while doing this, right? So I'm going to have to look at my phone. But last night, man, Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, we should have known. Mavericks won the first 3 games, but the T-Wolves were actually leading all 4 games of the series at the 4-minute mark. We should have known that the Mavericks were going to actually come out guns a-blazing yesterday. Before the game started, I don't know if you saw this, and if you haven't, I'm going to show it to you right now. Before the game started, while Luka Doncic is out there warming up, knocking down threes, just practicing, Karl Anthony Towns, star of the Minnesota Timberwolves, one of the stars, was actually on the floor doing nothing. He was taking a nap before the game. 14 minutes before the start of the game, he is taking a nap.
I think okay, so everyone has their own routine as to how they prepare for the game. So is this what he normally does, or was this out of the norm? Because why would you do something different?
It just seemed weird. He's on the floor 14 minutes before the game with a towel under his head, falling asleep.
Maybe he was praying.
No, he wasn't falling asleep. Dude, that's the look that I give at 3 o'clock every day, dude. Every day at 3 o'clock, I take my nap. I go down, I go mimis. He went mimis.
Dude, that was just a butt whooping by them. I'm telling you, man. Because I'll be real honest, like outside the Spurs, I'm one of those guys that will pretty much not watch the games. And I've told Mike, like doing this show, like I don't watch like a lot of other teams outside of maybe the Dallas Cowboys, the Spurs, but I'll watch playoffs and I'll watch the finals. But to watch that game and actually see these guys that we've talked about, man, it was amazing. I'm telling you, it was a great game.
Dude, for one team. One team, yeah. The Mavericks coming out when you have Luka Doncic go out and outscore the entire Timberwolves team in the first quarter, 20 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then at halftime, the combination of Luka and Kyrie scored more than the entire Timberwolves team.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at as well.
Both players were 36 points last night, and I think that the announcer got it right. They basically said Luka's a flamethrower. And what I enjoy about Luka right now is that when he's knocking down these shots, he's chirping at the bench, he's chirping at the crowd. The guy is just on a weird mission right now to just tell everybody. Not only does he want the chip, he wants to tell everybody "F you" along the way. Dude, when he's and then when he's like not jawing with, but smiling at Snoop Dogg, who's in the crowd, dude, it was so much fun. And it's hard because I'm a Spurs fan, lifelong Spurs fan. I was born a Spurs fan. I'll die a Spurs fan. And a lot of fans right now are like, "Oh, you can't cheer for the Mavericks. Or are you going to cheer for Derek White and the Celtics?" Screw that. I respect Luka Doncic's game. I respect his attitude, and to see that he's been able to convince Kyrie Irving to play team ball. And I think the one thing that I thought was beautiful yesterday, you see Luka go out for 20 points in the first quarter, and they get out to a quick 20-point lead. They sat Luka for about 6 minutes, and they gave the ball to Kyrie, and they said, "Your turn."
Yeah, and that's going to be tough for the Celtics moving forward, because if you look at their bench play, they averaged less points off the bench than Dallas did. So they're not going to have that available for them, at least. I think their bench was like number 20 of the Celtics for the season, something like that.
Yeah, and it's just it was seeing the ass kicking that was had yesterday, and seeing how laser focused the T-Wolves came out like they were just happy they didn't get swept. Yeah, they kind of came out that way. Lots of comments coming in. Chris Gonzalez saying Cat was like your dog. He likes the cold floor. Others are saying defensive player of the year. LOL.
But on that Luka thing, one thing I do want to say is that I had never really witnessed it, but when I was watching that, and you could see like how they always showed Snoop, dude, like the crowd liked it. It was crazy because he was like jawing at them, but they freaking enjoyed it.
They respected him.
Yeah,
it was a respect. Like you don't want to see your team get its ass kicked, but at the same time, when you're witnessing greatness, you're witnessing greatness. Garrett from the Netherlands, we got some international flavor today. Luka has that Jordan mentality. He's a killer. We've got some fantasy talk over here by Rue Dog saying 4 seconds, and Devin Vassell for Luka. Dude, I would do that in a heartbeat. Mario saying Luka is low-key Nesiel. Sif coming out saying Celtics in 5. Now, let's talk about this real fast. The Celtics, I saw this tweet that came out today that was talking about the fact that the Celtics making the finals should not be considered to be impressive. Yes, they were one of the best teams in the East, if not the best team, but Giannis went down with an injury. Jalen Brunson went down with an injury. Jimmy Butler went down with an injury. Tyrese Halliburton went down with an injury. All the big stars in the Eastern Conference playoffs went down, and all Boston did was stay healthy.
Well, staying healthy is part of it, though.
No,
you can't fault them for that.
No, you can't, but you also can't measure how good they are because they haven't played a solid team yet. They haven't played a team that's been healthy. Yeah. You know, and I look at the Celtics, and Jason Tatum does not do it for me. Now, I know 2 weeks from now we might have a conversation where Jason Tatum is finals MVP, but as of right now, May 31st, 2024, I think Jason Tatum is one of the most overhyped players in the entire NBA as of right now. I've never been a big fan. Sith coming out and saying in 5, this is going to go at least 6. No matter who wins, it's going to go at least 6. But look at the venom that's going to go on there, because not only is it a battle between two good teams that are getting hot at the right time, but you have Kyrie going back to Boston, a team that he kind of jilted a few years ago. Mm-hmm. The underline of that, the storyline of Luka Doncic going for his first, it feels like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have already won a chip, but they haven't. Boston gets to the finals, loses the finals. So something's got to give, and I'm just looking at the storylines, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe, just maybe, we should cheer for Luka in this whole thing. Maybe, just maybe. By the way, I did that poll a couple days ago.
Yeah, I did see the poll.
51% of Spurs fans saying that they're cheering for the Mavericks when it comes to it all. There's a respect factor that's there. But during last night's game, as the Mavericks were piling on the T-Wolves, And as all those threes kept falling for Luka Doncic, and as Kyrie was going off, they combined for 72 points. As that was going on, one of the announcers said, this is the best scoring backcourt of all time. And then about a quarter later backtracked because people were like, well, wait a minute, what about Steph and Clay?
Mm-hmm.
But I look at it, I get it. And maybe I'm prisoner of the moment when it comes to it all, but Steph and Clay, Steph, when he was on fire, and he was undeniable. But there's something that Kyrie brings, something that Luka Doncic brings, that I look at it and I think to myself, this is different. This is different. They can bully their way into the lane. Steph Curry couldn't bully his way into the lane. Klay Thompson couldn't go in there and dominate the paint. It's a different thing. It's apples and oranges. And I know that Steph and Klay are the best shooters of all time as a backcourt. But I think that to say, if you compare the two, they're probably closer in talent than what most people would give them credit for.
Yeah, I would think so. But even on that, the 20-point quarters to me is like unheard of. But it's not. When I started looking back at it and I started, who has the most? It's actually Steph Curry.
Yeah,
has the most 20-point quarters.
Yeah, and it's because he lights it up from three.
Yeah,
he lights it up from three. Chris Gonzalez saying Luka and Kyrie were a true Batman and Robin. Then Batman let Robin take over the helm. That's a very good way of putting it. Garrett saying he's cheering for the Mavs. Sith reminded us that they were ranked number 1 the entire year, but they haven't proven it to anybody of substance, right? Jesse A says, let the Mavs get this chip with Wemby. We are on the rise, and San Antonio Mavs rivalry will be back. I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so. But look at how far we are now. Our good friend Carolina Teague pointed out the fact yesterday that she was out there saying that last season Dallas didn't even make the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, Dallas was like an 11 seed, didn't make the playoffs, then goes on and does this. Now that was the first year that you had Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic doing their thing. But man, I look at this team. And it's different, though. You can't say that because the Mavericks were an underperforming team last year that the Spurs are going to be a team that can go from number 12 in the conference all the way to number 1. That's not the case, because the thing about the Mavericks, though, is that not only do they have their franchise piece in Luka Doncic like we have with Wemby, they have Kyrie. Name one Spur that's as good as Kyrie Irving. Not even close.
No, not
so,
even.
So to say that, they went from 11 to this, I get it. That is a mathematical truth of it all. But
I think as fans, we want the Spurs to sit there and have a better record. And I sit there and I look at these comments sometimes that come on and they're saying, they're going to be a 42 winning team next season. And that, honestly, I want that, but I don't think that's going to happen. I sit there and think 30, 35.
38, 35?
Mm-hmm.
Well, last year the Mavericks were 38 and 44 on the season, so that is accurate. They had a losing season. They went from a losing season to Western Conference champs. Spurs are not going to do that without a Robin, because as they're saying, some of the listeners are saying, there's a Batman and Robin type of thing going on between Luka and Kyrie. We don't have a Robin.
No.
We have a Batman. We don't have a Robin. And the idea that the Spurs are going to go out there, I saw Spurs Culture on Twitter ask the question, what does this, watching the Mavericks play, watching the T-Wolves play, what does that make you think about what the Spurs should be doing in the draft? Because you see what these teams have been able to accomplish. And my response was, the Mavericks didn't draft Kyrie; they traded for Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Gatford, or they didn't trade for they didn't draft him either. And you look on the other side, Gobert was not a guy that was drafted by the T-Wolves. Now you can say that they have really good drafts. The Mavericks there with Lively, who, by the way, went an entire series without missing a shot, which was weird. You have Luka that they got on a draft day trade. They didn't draft him, but they traded for him on draft night. So it's kind of the same, kind of like the Spurs did that with Kawhi Leonard back in the day. But I look at all that and I'm thinking to myself, there has to be a mixture of the two. If the Spurs are going to go out and just try to build a team via the draft and not get top tier free agents, not make a trade for a top tier guy, or get him a Robin, Spurs aren't going anywhere when it comes to it. The Spurs will forever be a plotting team because Wemby can only do so much. He's only one player.
Yeah. But at the same time, like when he first came in this season, it's not like he came in and he goes, this is my team. As we saw them progress, it's because, expectations were set and what he expected from his other players. So, I mean, even if you get some other people in, I don't know, man. I still feel like they're going to do a great job just because, playing for Wemby and his expectations would be a lot more. I don't know. It's hard for me to sit there and explain it, but that's just how I see it. And I went back and I looked at Tim Duncan and where he was his first season, and they didn't make the playoffs.
Right.
But then they sat there and they shoot up the next season. And the same can be said.
Well, LeBron was it was that case. LeBron, they had a losing record. I see that now. Tim, they did make the playoffs the first year with Tim, if I'm not mistaken, because he won Rookie of the Year when it came to that. He was it was like a 35 game turnaround or something like that. But there's an interesting question right here by Mario Cavazos asking the question: is Jason Tatum's game boring to what they used to say about Tim Duncan's game? The difference that I see about this one, Mario, is the fact that Jason Tatum, when it's all said and done, you can give the ball to Duncan in his prime to finish the game, to get the bucket, right? I mean, I remember that shot, that three-pointer. He never shot three. Remember that 1-3 that he had against the Suns where he just jumps up and he did one of these numbers? You can see Duncan taking the last-second shot. When it comes to the Celtics, last-second shot, that ball's going to Jaylen Brown. Why isn't it going to Tatum? It's always Jaylen Brown who goes for the heroics, and Jason Tatum is great for 47 minutes, but that last 1 minute of the game, he disappears. I remember famously Richard Jefferson back in the day said, the reason why I was never great was because I never wanted the ball at the end. And I'm not saying that Jason Tatum won't take the shot. I just know that if you were to ask Celtics fans, gun to head, last second shot to win the game, last second shot to tie the game, they would add to a man say number one is Jaylen Brown. You would think, okay, well, Tatum's 2. No, Derek White's probably 2, and then Tatum. Now, speaking of Derek White, you asked the question, should you cheer for a player that was with the Spurs? And a lot of Spurs fans are like that. They're like, oh, well, because Kyle Anderson's on Minnesota was cheering for them.
He was missing everything yesterday. Good, especially down the stretch. Dude. I was like, why do they keep giving him the ball?
Okay, so they call him slow-mo, right? Yeah. He's been known that for years. Yesterday was extra slow when he was shooting the 3. Did you see that? Like, his shooting the 3 was like me trying to get out of the couch after I've had about 12 beers, dude. It was just like, oh, so slow. But Sith saying Luka isn't dominating the paint. He doesn't need to dominate the paint. All he's doing is just knocking it down from 3. But he does drive in. He does have a floater.
Oh, he did have 10 rebounds yesterday, though.
Yeah.
He did have 10 rebounds.
Dude, and that's the one thing about Luka's game that a lot of people disregard is the fact that he is very active on the boards. And I was thinking about it yesterday. Okay, so, and I know the correlation might not be there, but if you look at the 2 best players in the NBA right now, you've got to say are Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic in some order. You want to use either Jokic or Doncic. You can't have an argument for anybody else right now. Jokic, Serbian descent. You have Luka Doncic, Slovenian of Serbian descent. Does that mean I want Nikola Topic now for the Spurs in the draft because he's from Serbia and he's playing Serbian ball?
Yeah, maybe so.
There's something about that game that's being played in Europe that's different. Dude, these guys are becoming professional players at the age of 13, 14, and 15 years old. They're not playing high school ball. They're not playing college ball. They are identified as children. Victor Wembanyama, was talking trash the other day on social media because someone made a comment about him when he was 16. He went back 4 or 5 years later to go, correct the point. There's something different about these countries that are developing professional players. They're not doing high school and then AAU and then AAU All-Stars. They have a professional ranks, like they're being treated as professionals. It is a factory of players, and it's different in the United States. And we're now seeing. Remember back in the day, you and I growing up. You guys we're the same age. You and I growing up, we used to watch basketball in the early '90s. We used to go to Lou's house and Alex's house and Books' house. We'd go watch these games, and we knew that when the '92 Olympics came around, Team USA when they played Angola, remember they beat them by like 80 points, and then these other teams are going and like wanting to take photos with them and shake their hand because they knew that they weren't going to win. Now you look at it, there is no difference. In fact, you might even make the argument that the European player is better than the American player right now.
I mean, I think I had this conversation with you the other day. It's just that when you go around and you don't see kids anymore at the ballpark or whatever, not the courts though, and there's no line of people waiting to play, the game is not progressing. It's just not. Everyone wants to be on video games or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what I see.
We were driving down my neighborhood, and there's a really nice basketball court.
People there.
It is paved. It has covered trees all around it. I mean, not on the court, but all around it, so you can get some shade. And you and I would have killed for that in our neighborhood growing up. We had 3 guys there with a net that's all jacked up. You could go over there and buy a $4 net and put that up and have like a really good game. And no kids were there. And I think American kids are gravitating towards other sports. Some of them are gravitating towards soccer. NFL is king in the U.S. And we talked about this with Goldberg a couple weeks ago when Goldberg was on the show. He was talking about the fact that his son plays baseball and that he was not star rated in how he's now going to Colorado to go play for Deion Sanders' team. But he said, I didn't get a star rating. He didn't get a star rating because he didn't go to the camps. Because he was playing baseball and Bernie Champion was making its way through the playoffs. They got knocked out by Kerrville Tivy. But he was saying that there's not a lot of players out there anymore, athletes that are doing 2 sports, that they're having to focus on one. But I remember back in the day, people would letter in 4 sports. They would letter in track, they'd letter in baseball, basketball, and football. And now if you're playing football and you're 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", you're choosing football, you're not playing basketball anymore. Yeah. If you're choosing soccer, you're not playing basketball anymore. Then you add the fact that the AAU system, which I do officiate, by the way, sucks. It sucks because it develops a mentality of, instead of me beating the opponent, joining the opponent. Very much like Kevin Durant did with Golden State, where he got knocked out and he joined a 72-win team because he was like, can't beat him, join him, right? It's the exact same mindset. Meantime, in Europe, we saw this. We should have seen this with the coming of Giannis. Like, we're going to look back in time when the history books are written about the NBA. We're going to look back, and the door opened when Giannis and Nikola Jokic entered the league, because who were drafted ahead of them? Yeah, Giannis was the 15th pick in the draft, and Nikola Jokic was second rounder.
I mean, I think we saw that early on with Tony Parker. He was a professional at 15.
Tony Parker, Monty Ginobili. So we had a good question right here that was asked by one of our followers. Jesse A. asking the question, if you were a GM, would you want a dominant front court or a dominant back court? That's a great question. And the answer is yes. just yes. But how about this? Would you rather have a dominant backcourt where you have the 2 guards that are legit, like Kyrie and Luka, or would you rather have a front court that's legit, like Cat and Gobert? Maybe that's not the answer. Maybe just 2 really solid front court pieces. Or is the magic having one of each? Is it having one legit guard and one legit front court guy?
I don't know, man. I feel like that's where the game's changed the most, because in the past you had to play both sides because the game was just more physical. Now it seems like, I don't know, you can kind of pick and choose. But I mean, you want both. I mean, in my eyes, you sit there and you talk about this guy Castle all the time. Now, I can only say that I've only seen this guy play once, so I can't give too much into it. But when I saw his movement, like off the ball, like on the offensive side, I wasn't too impressed. But you sit there and say, well, this guy's NBA ready.
Well, if we're going to Stephon Castle, he wasn't the number 1 offensive option on that team. You had like a Klingon and whatnot that were down low. So they didn't run a motion necessarily offense, but whenever they do give him the ball and he's in transition, he has very good vision. He makes the good choices. He doesn't turn over the ball, and he knows how to finish a break. And he isn't a big old puss when it comes to putting the ball in the hoop. He will throw it down. But when you look at like on the defensive side of the ball, he's locked down. That's why I like him. Is because he has an NBA skill set already right now. But I like that question about which is better, is a front court or a dominant backcourt. You look at the Denver Nuggets, who have been very good as of late. they've had the ability of having one of each. They have a stud Jamal Murray. They've got a stud in Nikola Jokic, and they've had a little bit of everything in between. Add a little bit of Aaron Gordon. Garrett saying that we need better defense, talking about the Spurs. We need a little bit of everything. Defense does matter. Yeah, Mario saying Dallas literally tanked last season. They get Lively, not bad. So Lively's been a good pickup for the Mavericks. And he got knocked out of the game a couple of games ago, game 4, concussion type of thing going on. It was either game 3, game 4. It was really ugly. Karl-Anthony Towns kneed him in the back of the head. That was a ugly play. I don't know if it was a dirty play, but it was an ugly play. And then last night got slapped in the back of the head again. That one seemed a little bit.
That one wasn't as bad though.
No, it wasn't. But
he sold it though.
He didn't sold it. So he when you have a cracked head, dude. I mean, it doesn't take much, dude. I mean, you could fling a rubber band at the back of his head, it would hurt. So the question about Dallas tanking for him, I don't know if you saw this, but last year Mark Cuban got fined, I believe, $750,000 because the Mavericks were tanking so that they could keep their draft pick. It was a protected first-round draft pick, and they lost games in a row on purpose down the stretch, especially one game where they sat the entire starting lineup just so that they would fall into the lottery, further into the lottery, and solidify their spot in the draft. And they got Lively out of that. So, hey, it worked, right? Bainstein saying that easier to get free agents if you have the Batman, since players will want to play with that Batman. Bain, I would normally agree, dude. I would normally agree if Wemby played in Houston, if Wemby played in Dallas, if Wemby played in LA, Chicago, Miami, New York, it'd be easy to get free agents. But he plays in San Antonio. And on top of that, he plays for Greg Popovich. And for all the people who say that players want to play for Popovich, in theory, they want to play for Popovich. In the same respect that people say that they would love to train for a half marathon, right? But how many people actually do it? And I look at it and I think that if there's one thing that's preventing a lot of free agents to come to the Spurs, it's Greg Popovich. No difference than
same thing with the Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah. Why do free agents not go to the Cowboys? It's because of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, you might say Pop has 5 rings. Jerry Jones has 3. The similarities, the parallels between the Spurs and the Cowboys right now are kind of scary. Not on the field, not with the Wembys or anything like that. I'm talking about how the team is run. Very similar.
I just think people want to play. And when you sit there, and I'm not saying it's playing with coach, but I think it's the way he runs the system. And to sit there and people want to sit. I want to play 82 games. I don't want to go somewhere and play maybe 68 or 72. They want to play all the games.
I mean, the Spurs free agents of the past several years, they could take a look at it and go, well, what have the Spurs done with free agents? Well, DeMar Carroll ended up not getting played. You had Thad Young not getting played. You had Devontae Graham last season not getting played. So if you are a C.D. Osman getting getting decent minutes one game and then none the next. You look at the free agencies, and people think that that NBA players are going to look at Tim, Tony, and Manu and go, "Oh my God, I want to join that." Tim's been gone for a while. It's been a decade. The Spurs last won their last NBA Finals in June of 2014. These players that are out there right now that are free agents were in middle school. They weren't growing up with the Spurs. They were in middle school when the Spurs tailed off. And that's the thing, the mythology of, oh, well, they want to play for Pop. It's BS. It's BS. It is politically correct to say, but it doesn't mean that that's what they truly believe. And it just kind of throws me off. Got to get some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Don't forget to follow him on Twitter or on X or whatever you call it, X or Twitter, or to go on to Threads at Jeff G Spurs Zone. It's your daily content when it comes to Spurs coverage. I'm oftentimes on the show, and I'm taking a look at what he's done right now. He has an article today. It says, enter the Spurs multiverse. Would Wembanyama have done a better defensive job in the Western Conference Finals versus Dallas? He has a guess of Matt Guzman. That's today's Locked On Spurs. Again, you can listen to it on Spotify. You can watch it on YouTube. People were making fun of me when I last did it. They said that it looked like I was in a prison cell when I was in my bedroom doing it. But
when you're laying down?
Yeah. Darius Garland, according to odds makers, has a very good odds of becoming a Spur. 3-1 odds according to Bet Online. So another story that he has out there. Okay, bad trade offers are not accepted on here. Vane saying European players are built different. They are not tainted by that AAU BS.
Oh, Mexican.
Talking about Topic or Castle at 8. Or talk about Topic. If Topic is there at 8, take him. Maybe. He's at 4. Maybe not because of the injuries.
It's weird being on this side because, when I'm watching the show and I'm reading all the comments because they're hilarious. But here you can't. It's too hard to see them all so darn quick. That's where Joe's so good at it, man.
Old man.
Oh, man.
Because you can't see.
Oh.
Mario asking the question, have you ever tried to grow a goatee? Do it for the street cred. I have tried growing it. I have photos of me doing it, but I've never publicly displayed it. Usually when I go on vacation for a couple of weeks or so, I will not shave, and then I will be scruffed out. And then what do I normally do? I normally trim it down to a goatee, and then I rock that for a couple of days. Don't tell anybody about it. Post no selfies, no photos, and then I just shave it off. But I got a haircut yesterday. I had to do it, man. I had to do it. I'm going out on vacation next week, and I was afraid of getting my haircut too early, which I probably did. But style and profile. I got to keep it nice and clean. Dude, people trust me with their money. Right now I've got $13 million worth of investment assets that I manage right now, making my march to $20 million, and this is what gets the money.
Oh, gosh.
A clean face. A goatee ain't going to get the money, dude. It ain't.
If you rock it right.
No.
If you rock it right.
No. I'm saying it looks bad. And I'm not saying, it's kind of like Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack. Looks good on you, though.
Grow goatee for podcast season.
Let me
That's
see.
Hilarious.
So let's see. In Chan High School to get there. Okay. They're having conversations with themselves now. Chris Gonzalez. Okay, Midtown. That's what you were laughing at there. Yeah. Grow a goatee for podcaster mating season. Damn straight. It's not a goatee. I believe they call it a flavor saver. But Chris Gonzalez asking the question, Jimenez, when you ref games, how many kids do you see around the three-point line? Kids today do not understand the game. It's a good question there. Good point there, Chris. I saw a podcast yesterday. It was like a 5-minute excerpt of a podcast. It was with JJ Redick and LeBron James, and JJ Redick was going over stats and saying how the game is so much different than when LeBron came in. He basically pointed out to LeBron James has been part of 3 eras. Mm-hmm. That like Magic played in a certain era, Jordan played in a certain era, but LeBron James has been playing for 21 years. And he was on the tail end of one era. He was in his era. Now he's had to morph into the next one, right? And how crazy it is that he's been successful at all 3 of them, even up to age 40. But he brought the question, JJ Redick asked the question, do you know what one of the weirdest trends in the NBA is right now? It's taking a 3-point shot within the first 6 seconds of the shot clock. Remember how it used to be? Find the shot, right? Spurs, beautiful game. Pass it around. We grew up with the movie Hoosiers. Remember? No one attempts a shot until you pass the ball five times. 5 times, right? And basically, JJ Redick was pointing out the fact that the number of 3-point attempts that have gone the first 6 seconds have become exponentially higher over the years. That it was an all-time high this past season, and it was an all-time high the season before. That it's becoming a thing. And he was talking about like back in the day when you'd run a fast break, 3-on-2 fast break, you fill the lane. Remember, point guard or whoever's dribbling the ball is going up the middle, and then the 2 kind of converge from the 3-point line in to go get the layup. And what is going on now? JJ Redick pointed out, he had the whiteboard. He goes, the players are going to the 3-point line instead and not filling the gap. And the point guard's going in 1-on-2, 1-on-3 to either A, lay it up with the two defenders on him, or to kick it back out to a wide open three. So JJ asked the question, what is the percentage of these 3-point shots that are going in? And he said that when people first started doing that, when that trend line was happening, that it was 34% accuracy, and now it's 36%. And what does that mean? My favorite stat, according to Joe Garcia, effective field goal shooting percentage is at 54%. And he goes, you extrapolate that over time, it is actually mathematically correct for them to go to the 3-point line than it is for them to go in and try to attempt a layup and try to get the bucket, try to get a 2-pointer. It's counterintuitive. But the thing is that I think the European game is different because they are not afraid of contact. We're going to see this when the Olympics happen. They play FIBA ball. And FIBA ball is they call traveling. FIBA ball is if you have no blood, no foul. And that's why the NBA players, you're going to see this. Mark my words. The NBA players are going to go to Europe, going to go to Paris to play in the Olympics, and they're going to be crying like babies the first 2 games because they're going to be like, they didn't call any fouls down low. It's because they get coddled in the NBA, and that's those Serbian leagues, those Turkish leagues, those French leagues. They beat the living crap out of people, which is why Victor Wembanyama had no problem going in down low and playing center because he's been getting his ass kicked for 15 years already. Since age 15, he's been getting hacked in the back and pushed around. He ain't no punk. He's a tough kid. Wemby is tough because he played in Europe. Oh, man. Dude, those European players,
I don't know, man. I just kind
they
of
play better ball.
I also see it like, okay, so if you watch the game yesterday,
Yeah.
and especially the first half, so every time like Dallas would get the ball, like off a rebound, they're shooting down the court. And where was the defense for Minnesota? And for me, it just wasn't there. And they weren't going like towards a 3-point line. They were going in the middle. They were doing some awesome passing. I just think it's also like the team or the players in general. And for me, the whole 3-point thing, I'm not saying like it's more three. It is more threes, but it's further back.
Oh,
because
true.
I think we always took them. We always saw them being taken anyways. But now it's just like how far back can you sit there and make these shots?
From the logo.
Look at Luka. He still had plenty of time to sit there and work the ball in after the end of the half, but he sat there and took one like 2 steps in front of the line and missed it. And I was just like, dude, you have like 2 more seconds to go. It's like, what are you doing? Like, work the ball in.
No, man. He knows his spots. He knows his spots. Jonathan C. coming out and saying it's great to see Kyrie in the finals. He's come a long way. So that dovetails into the question that I had on Twitter this morning, asking the question, is Kyrie a Hall of Famer yet? Because, you look at the stats.
Does some amazing stuff.
Here's what he's done. He's an NBA champion already. So he won one in 2016. Now, keep in mind, we all look back at the 2016 finals between the Cavs and the Warriors, and we remember Draymond Green being suspended for a game for, an ejection, kicking a player, whatever he did, something stupid, and it gave up a game. We remember that layup that Steph Curry tried doing, and LeBron James, like a freight train, came from behind and pinned it up against the backboard. We remember all that, but honestly, what won that series for the Cavs was Kyrie Irving's play. Kyrie Irving was so good in that finals, and he wanted to be his own guy. He went going to Brooklyn. He went to Boston. It didn't work out, man. He wasn't the alpha. He wasn't the number one guy. He might have had the alpha mentality. He burned a lot of people wrong, rubbed people the wrong way with the whole not wanting to get vaccinated. And that's his personal belief. But you know what? He missed 50 games because of it. You have the fact that he kind of pissed off people in Boston. You have the fact that he gave up on Brooklyn. But he goes to Dallas. He changes things around. And now look at his stats. Look at his accolades. NBA champion in 2016. An 8-time All-Star, which is around the same number of All-Stars that LaMarcus Aldridge has, by the way. NBA All-Star Game MVP. He has made 3 All-NBA teams. That's 1 second and 2/3. He had a 50-40-90 season, which is 50% shooting from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. Very few people enter the 50-40-90 club. He was also Rookie of the Year. I asked the question, is he a Hall of Famer? 47% say yes, but not first ballot. 41% say first ballot Hall of Fame. 12% think that Kyrie needs to do more. As of right now, I would be in the category of saying yes, but not first ballot. But if he gets the second ring,
yeah, I think that's where I'm at with him too. But I mean, the guy. I mean, I was never a big fan of him watching him before, and watching him yesterday, man, this guy does some unbelievable stuff. Hey, Daisy, hi, how you doing? And the way he's putting up the shots like off balance and still making it look easy, it's just unbelievable.
Oh, he attacks the rim better than most point guards. And the thing about Kyrie Irving, the best handles in basketball the past 10 years. And I think that gets forgotten because that's part of the personality. The cult of personality is the fact that people think he's a dick.
Yeah.
And because he's a dick,
it's not going to get that first vote.
People just don't like him. They disrespect him. They go, oh, well, he's not as good then, right? He's not as good. He only has one chip. He gets that second one, dude. He is first ballot Hall of Famer. People asking the question, pull up another device to read the comments. I can't. I have no idea how this technology works, to be honest with me.
Is that guy your brother?
The question that we had here was...
I'll be the good-looking one.
Oh, what did I do there? Sorry, the chat. Look at all these chats that we have coming in.
Yeah, I want to go back and see this again.
Someone asking the question, am I beating the 8% index returns? You have to call me to find out. I got stats. Jesse A saying, if Yao Ming made the Hall of Fame, then Kyrie should. Hand of a fist saying Kyrie might be the best wingman I've ever seen. I go to a lot of Spurs games, and you go to the games, and obviously you're witnessing a lot of the best players of all time, or not of all time, but in the world, right? Mm-hmm. There's been few players where I've gone out to go see a game, and I'm like, holy crap, that guy is good. Kyrie Irving is one of them. And as Daisy is trying to make an entrance onto the show,
she is.
Daisy, are you going to make an entrance? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. She jumped onto the table.
Oh, Daisy wants
Daisy. All right, Daisy, you got to get down.
No, Daisy wants a new daddy.
No, Daisy, got to get down. Got to get down.
Dang. Poor Daisy.
Needs a haircut.
Yeah, Daisy does need a haircut.
Very, very cool. You want to talk about some pop culture?
We could.
Okay, so we talked yesterday about the fact that Lenny Kravitz made the announcement. He wasn't even asked, so it's kind of like, why are you even saying this? It's not like someone asked him, so who are you having sex with? He just blatantly outright said in an interview, oh, by the way, I haven't had any in 9 years.
Do you believe that, though?
Yeah, I do. He's that crazy.
Bless.
So Lenny Kravitz, one of the best guitarists, one of the biggest rock stars, maybe not the biggest, but he was for a while there, late 90s. I mean, when Fly Away came out, all of that stuff, he had a good 10-year stretch there, from It Ain't Over Till It's Over to, Rock and Roll's Dead, and, American Woman, he had a lot of hits there, right? He had a good career. Then he became an actor in the Hunger Games movies. He played Cinna in the Hunger Games. My daughter, Gabby, was big into it, so I'm big into the Hunger Games. That's where my Jennifer Lawrence fascination started.
Well, would it be safe to say that even if we lived another 60 years, he probably still had more sex than us?
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he got it all out of the system already.
Well, I mean, he was married to Lisa Bonet, from the Huxtables, from the Cosby Show and A Different World. And he was married to her. And he basically came out and said that after they got divorced, he realized that he was living the whole life. He was out banging chicks after chick after chick after chick. He decided that he didn't want to do that because he kind of felt like he needed to be on a spiritual journey. And he's gone 9 years from the ages of 51 to 60. Now, not to put your life into perspective.
Oh, damn.
But, your wife is deployed. She's in the military. She's in the Air Force.
She is, yeah.
So that is a long stretch of time,
She'll be back in October.
So you got to go out there and go visit her. Mm-hmm. But there's some stretches that guys go through, some voluntary, some involuntary. He says his is voluntary, and I believe it because that guy could get ass wherever he goes.
Let's be careful because my wife will watch the show.
There you go.
Okay.
But the point I'm trying to make, though, is that there's a difference between 3 months, 6 months, a year. You might not be happy with that, but you can live it. But a year, 3 years, 9.
No, thank you.
9.
Yeah,
okay, if I could give you $1 million, but you can't have sex for the next 9 years. Would you take it?
Hell yeah, I would.
You would?
Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
Shit, why not?
$1 million?
Have all the sex after that?
Could be what? 56? 50? I don't know what the math is on that, but that's kind of funny.
It's a whole lot of money.
But the part of the story, though, is the fact that Ice-T, the rapper, who
trolling him,
cop killer, you knew Jack Hustler, 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 has come out and said that he's clowning Lenny Kravitz, going, "Why are you A, saying this, and B, you got to be kidding me? Use your pecker. That's what it's there for. If you got it, use it."
What I don't understand is why people butt into other people's business. Like, let the guy be. I mean, he said it. Like, let him do his thing. Like, why do people have to start saying all this stuff? It's just crazy. I don't know. And then, yeah, here we are talking about it too.
I know. Tim Gonzalez coming out and saying, Lenny, the lizard outside. They gave the lizard a name.
Oh, Lenny,
you were looking for it.
Yeah, I was looking right when I walked in.
Has more game than Jimenez. Maybe he slithers. I mean, he's got a faster tongue.
Is that 9 Kenny years?
I don't understand what Kenny years are. Is that a Kenny Powers reference, or I don't know. But I just think it's kind of funny. Other news of the day. Why am I getting these texts?
Talk about Drew Gordon.
Drew Gordon, the brother of Aaron Gordon from the Denver Nuggets, has passed away. That's very sad when things like that. Oh, I'm getting text messages right now.
From what?
Okay. We don't talk politics around here.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. But what I've been posting on Twitter involving Trump, I have my politics. No one cares about my politics. I don't care about anyone else's politics either.
Stay out of it.
You believe what you believe, right?
Right.
But, yesterday was a historical day in the fact that Donald Trump was convicted of 34 state felonies, right? And we have a lot of people who are happy about it, a lot of people who are butthurt about it, okay? And I'm not going to go on a political rant or anything like that because no one cares, right? Mm-hmm. So I thought I'd be funny with it.
Okay.
So I posted on Twitter yesterday a GIF of Melania Trump, right? Former First Lady. Now, I mean, she was a former model herself. And I basically posted on there, "Girl, I'm here for you."
Oh my gosh.
Melania, I'm here.
He got some time because he can get up to 4 years.
I'm here for you, girl, right? And then I posted a meme that I saw on Instagram saying 20 minutes after the verdict, you have Pete Davidson with Melania, right? It's a nice little Photoshop there, right? I'm being funny with it, right? Okay, I'm not saying anything about politics necessarily. I'm just being funny with it because let's make some light of the situation, right? You have one side who believes that he's guilty of this, and I'm part of that. There's nobody who can tell me that he's not guilty of this. You have the other side who says, well, yeah, he's guilty, but other people are doing other things. And to a man, if you were to ask most conservatives, do you think he's guilty? When no one's around, they will say, well, yeah, he is guilty. I just don't care. Okay, fine. I'm trying to make light of it. I had a guy come up to me on Twitter, like trying to get mad at me about that yesterday. And then now I have a really good friend of mine who is like hardcore MAGA these days, although he doesn't admit it. And I'm there going, I don't care. And he got mad at me about what I posted. And I love my friends, but if you're mad at me about my political posts, then unfollow me. And it's sad that we lose friends sometimes because they're so swept up in their politics. And I've done the same thing, dude. Maybe I'm a hypocrite myself when it comes to it, but I'm like, dude, I will never understand. I understand people who are liberal. I understand people who are conservative, right? I have conservative tastes because I am pro this, that, and the other. I understand liberal takes. I'm pro this, that, and the other. But one thing I'll never understand is treating somebody like they're a god. That I'll never understand. That's what a lot of MAGA people are doing. So my friend, who is like really hardcore into it.
Wait, do I know this friend?
No, you don't.
Okay.
You don't. But I'm like, why? He's texting me right now during a podcast. He knows I have a podcast, so why is he texting me during it? And he's mad because, quote unquote, I'm ruining his algorithms because of of what I posted on there. And I said, no, what ruined the algorithm was that you commented on it. Okay. What did I post? Did I post that Trump is a criminal? Did I post that Trump is this? Did I post this, that, and the other? No. I posted a GIF of Melania Trump, a meme of Melania Trump saying, girl, I'm here for you if you need me. Okay. I'm making light of it. And they're getting so butthurt. And the thing is that when you get a group together, you ask them, did they do it? No. But then if you pull them one by one, ask, hey, do you think you did it? Guess what they all say? Yeah, but I don't care. That's the weird thing about it.
How can you even say that if are you there in the courthouse listening to every single thing that's being said or looking at every piece of evidence? And if you're not, you really can't say much. And you know, I just try and stay away from the whole politics and religion type thing. Look, all you got to be is a good person.
That's true.
And I want to be around you. That's it.
That is true. That is true. Text message Frank asking the question, where is Melania on the Jimenez Nugget scale? Now, Melania in the 90s, early 2000s,
she
was pretty legit, right? I mean, right around the time that Trump was banging Stormy Daniels. I'm sorry.
$10.
Yeah, you know, that highly religious guy. Morby coming out saying May 30th should be National Suicide Day. Thank you, Stormy Daniels. Well, you know, it's funny. We've talked about Stormy Daniels. And by the way, I've given it to the other side. We talked about Monica Lewinsky earlier this week, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I've given crap about that. And it's kind of my whole thing about it.
Where's the dress now? That's what
like for my friends who I've known for many, many years to text me that they don't want me to put things on social media, go fuck yourself. Seriously.
Mikey Mike.
Seriously. Go jump on your roof, jump off of it. My social media is my social media.
I'm like one of those guys that starts doing this.
I know, like Quagmire on Family Guy.
Just start moving off the screen real quick. Go ahead, keep saying it. I don't agree. I don't disagree.
Dude, I'm okay. I love conservatives, dude, because I've said this before. Half of what is right is conservative. Half of what is right is liberal. It's the people who are so far left, and the people who are so far right that I'm like, the answer's in the middle, dude. That's the way it always is. Rudog, Demon Mike. That's right. Pooper Flash saying people that do that are weird. Getting a text message from a friend saying I'm messing with their algorithm, that he doesn't want to see that on his feed, then block me. Also, take my phone number and erase it. Like if you're so bent into your politics that you think it's appropriate for you to reach out to me, call me or text me to say that they don't like what I'm putting on there, go away. Go away. I mean, it's that simple. Go away.
It's quiet in here.
Mario, so is Duncan the new guy in the middle of the van so is Duncan the guy in the middle from the van? Not sure what that means.
I think we have to go up.
Oh, they're going out here. JHNSB. Call them out right now. Who is it? Well, it's nobody.
I want to know.
It's nobody on these threads. It's nobody on this thread. In fact, I don't even know if he's even listening right now. And if he is,
and that's his friend.
With friends like this, you know, who needs enemies? That's kind of funny, man. It's kind of funny. Joe Garcia is out today. He's being a dad. He's out and about.
Good for Joe.
Mm-hmm. If you all want some pretty good video, go on to TMZ right now. I would normally post it right now, but there was a brawl in Baltimore, Washington, BWI Airport, at the Spirit Airlines check-in. Have you ever flown Spirit before?
I have not.
It's an experience.
Yeah. From what I hear.
So for those of you who don't know how Spirit works, you buy your flight, and the flight costs like $30. Now, if you want to pick a seat, it's going to cost you between $10 and $30. Right? Some seats are $10, some are $30. Like if you want to be in the front, if you want to be on the windows, that's more, right? So you start building your price, right? If you want to take on a luggage, it costs even more. It's still cheaper than a normal flight because these planes are like 40 years old, right? And you're basically flying in a big SUV. But if you're going on a trip, man, I've done this before where I've done a trip where I'm like, well, I'm not going to take a suitcase. I'm just going to take 3 pairs of shorts and 3 chones, and 3 t-shirts and socks. You put it in a backpack. Dude, I have flown places for like $60 because I did the no frills thing. But just know that if you're flying Spirit, the other people around you are just as cheap. Okay. They shouldn't call it Spirit Airlines. They should call it Edgar Airlines because there's a lot of Edgar cuts going back and forth. So so you have a son who is in high school, right?
I do. Mm-hmm. He
Now,
does not have an Edgar cut.
No, he's a good-looking kid. If he came back from Great Clips, Supercuts, Fantastic Sam's, or whatever, and he came back with an Edgar, what would you do as a father?
I'd shave his damn head. I shave his damn head when he's sleeping. I go in there and shave his head.
Sam Smith saying that BWI is ghetto airport in the DC area. They do have 3. Dulles is the nice one. Rude Dog coming out and saying like Frontier Airlines, man. I kind of feel like they're not actually gonna like let you off the plane. They're just gonna like slow down and just push you off of it. You got to parachute out from there. Jesse A saying that he has flown Spirit from Orlando with a bunch of Disney families. Wasn't that bad of an experience. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Okay, first of all, if you want to have a good flight, a life hack. Okay, I've been doing a lot of traveling. I'm flying to Nashville next Friday.
Yeah.
Going to be going to CMA Country Music Fest. That's going to be fun. And haven't bought my tickets to go see Lainey Wilson, Keith Urban, and Jelly Roll yet because I want to see what the lay of the land is first. I like buying tickets to something the day of. If I have to pay more on StubHub or SeatGeek, fine. At least I know I want to go. I don't want to go there being tied to an itinerary.
Okay.
So that being said, I fly a lot. I flew to Charlotte 2 months ago. I flew twice to New Orleans earlier this year. I went to Vegas for March Madness. I'm going to go back to Vegas in July for Gabby, my daughter's 21st birthday.
So if you fly so much, why wouldn't you just stick to one airline and acquire more points?
Well, I have a points system with a lot of these places, but I also have a credit card that gives me a lot of points. Mm-hmm. In fact, my flight to Nashville cost me $11 because I had points. So that was cool. But whenever I don't have points, the life hack is this: GoogleFlights.com. GoogleFlights.com is the perfect life hack when it comes to getting a flight. Because if you go to GoogleFlights.com, you know how like you go on a flight and let's say that you go and they say you have to have a stop in Dallas and then you have to have a stop in Denver, all the hubs, right? There's Atlanta, there's Denver, there's Dallas, there's LA, there's Chicago. There's a lot of hubs out there, right? What they do is they put together an itinerary for you that mixes and matches different airlines. So you might, and it might be a lot cheaper for you to go San Antonio to Dallas on American Airlines, but then fly Delta from Dallas to Chicago. And it's just so weird whenever they do the math. And the other hack on it, though, is that you actually buy them as one-ways. If you're going to go from San Antonio to Chicago, for example, or San Antonio to DC, you go San Antonio to DC, but you do not ask for the flight back. You do individual one-ways each way, and they just mix and match. So you might take United one way, American back. You might take Delta one way and Frontier the next. You never know, but it's cheaper, dude. Like legitimately super cheap to do it that way.
I just want to get there fast.
Mix and match, baby. Mix and match. That has been the life hack I've been using for a couple of years. Jesse A saying Lainey Wilson with the cake. Lainey Wilson, she's gotten thinner, man. She's gotten thinner. She's probably somebody. Did you watch Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Remember the blonde singer with the big ass?
I think so. The one outside. Oh, that's a big ass.
That's a big ass.
That's too much ass.
That's too much ass.
Oh yeah, I remember her on the show.
Yeah, she's gotten thinner though, man.
Well, she wasn't that big on the show. I remember her like this. On
Yellowstone. She had a badonkadonk though, man. She had a badonkadonk.
Damn. That
Chris Gonzalez. I like when Chris Gonzalez comes out with a Shark Tank type of take. Lainey Wilson lost her dump And for those reasons, I am out. Lainey Wilson, I mean, she's hot, but man, back in the day though, she had the dump truck. Do you know Casey Musgraves though, man? Casey Musgraves is my girl, man.
No, I don't know that one either.
Casey Musgraves, she made it to the Sweet 16 of the batting brackets. I thought that she was kind of a long shot, but Casey Musgraves is the kind of person.
I gotta look these people up, man. I don't even
Casey Musgraves is the kind of person where you might think, oh, well, she's cute. You've told me that she's cute before. I've shown you photos of her. But the more and more you follow her, the more and more it's like, well, I mean, she's all right. And then you just keep going and going and going. Then you go down a rabbit hole and you think to yourself, wait a minute, she is a nugget.
Look,
have you started?
Somewhat attractive with a lot of money, dude. I'm in.
Dude, they have a guitar and they can sing.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you started using the word nugget in your common vernacular? And by the way, those who are watching right now on our YouTube stream, reach out to us and ask. I'm gonna ask the question: do you use the phrase nugget? Has that vocabulary?
My wife has asked me if she's a nugget. Say no comment.
Your wife is a nugget.
Of course,
You've done good.
Of course.
You've done good.
Absolutely.
She's a hottie.
Yeah.
So you've known me since I was 14 years old. People are asking for embarrassing moments and whatnot.
I've tried to think of one, and I really, and I know this is going to sound bad. Like the only thing I can sit there and say is I could tell a story about like when we're young, we all like go to our friend's house and we may stay over, right? And I remember the first time like I'm at this guy's place and he starts playing like Bryan Adams and Mariah Carey
and the Police.
Right? And at that point, I'm looking for the nearest exit and saying like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
And what do you listen to now? Bryan Adams, the Police.
Yeah. Definitely not Mariah Carey. Starship.
Oh no, I was never a Starship guy. Man.
Oh, come
but
on.
You knew that I had a Mariah Carey fetish when I was in high school. Mariah Carey was like my celebrity crush from like 93 through about 97, right? From basically Emotions to Honey, or Emotions to Fantasy.
I did remember something. So I don't know if he's ever talked about it on the show, but there was a time where we went on a band trip. To New Orleans, and it happened to be it was
March Madness.
Yeah, so we're going there, and we were supposed to be chaperoned, but they let us kind of just venture off.
What chaperones?
Right? Yeah, what chaperones? Right? They wanted to do their own thing too, probably getting drunk. But Mike walks into a bar to go watch a game, and starts looking around, and at that point he realized that it was a different kind of bar. How do you say it?
Okay, so
correct.
It was very Blue Oyster.
Yeah,
the Blue Oyster, is that from Police Academy?
Yeah. So 4 hours later, we pick him up.
No. Okay, so you told that story correctly, but basically it was March Madness, and I wanted to see what the score was. We were walking by this bar, and I saw all these TV screens up showing the game. So I run in to kind of see what the score is, and I see that all my friends didn't join me. They were just like at the door, all lined up in a row. And it's like, what's going on? And then I realized that I was at a game bar.
We didn't feel comfortable, but Michael did.
Now, it's funny that you mentioned that because I remember going out with some friends a while back. These are people that you know, but it was a bunch of couples when I was with I think I was with my ex at the time. I'm not sure, but I think so. And we all paired off, and Main Street downtown is kind of a gay club area. You've got the Saint and Pegasus, and I forgot the name of that bar that's across the way. But my friends, we'd all get together. We'd go karaoke from place to place, and we'd always say each couple gets to choose where we go. And one would pick one bar. We'd pick like Dad's Karaoke, or we'd go to Who's Who Karaoke, or we'd go to wherever, right, to go to karaoke nights. And one of the couples that's with us was gay. Nothing wrong with that. Love my gay friends. I'm an ally. But when it came time for the gay couple's turn to decide where we were going to go, they asked the question, can we go to a gay bar to do karaoke? Because apparently Pegasus has karaoke. So it was funny because like a lot of the couples there, including me and my ex, were like, yeah, we're fine. It's your turn to pick. So we went to Pegasus and we saw that some couples didn't show up. And later on, they said that they weren't comfortable. And to them, I say, because it's like you could be friends with them at Dad's karaoke, but you couldn't be friends with them at Pegasus. Climb up to the top of your roof. Hopefully it's 2 stories and walk off of it. Seriously.
Bless, dude.
Seriously. And those are probably the people that call into my phone, text me saying that they're getting mad. So so Pegasus ended up doing karaoke there. And it's funny because, me and Mike, our good friend Mike.
Which one?
Count. We used to go to gay bars every once in a while just to pick up girls.
2 for 1.
Well, you know what it is? The girls were there with their gay friends, right? Their besties. And at the end of the night, they're looking around going, is there anybody here straight? And me and Mike would be there at the corner going,
no, man. Jimenez was that guy rolling around the parking lot at 2:30 a.m. waiting for everyone to come out all drunk and stuff. Who can I get now? God damn, bro. Oh, man. Go to Grand Central Station and just ride that parking lot.
Dude, the club. I saw this TikTok yesterday that I thought was kind of funny. I'll try to post it on Twitter. It was funny because it was asking the question, and let me see if I can play it real fast, or at least play the audio of it all. Some TikToks that were funny, but it was basically asking the question, like, whatever happened to clubbing? I asked this of my daughter because my daughter says that there's no such thing as clubs anymore. Like, I mean, there's the occasional, country dance hall. There is the international thing when it comes to.
Now they got them on 1604. My daughter still goes, but there's not as many.
But it's international music. It's not what we used to go to over at Graham Central Station. It's not Park Place. It's not the Atrium.
Club Yucatan.
Yeah, those places don't exist, man. They don't exist anymore. And here it is. Here it is. I'm gonna play this loud.
I'm very concerned about the future of my culture, which is clubbing. I'm going to write some letters to authorities soon. This is a dying art. They're forgetting this craft and how to do it. The young girls, they don't even know how to dance on a table in a heel. Hot girls stopped dancing on tables in heels, and club culture is dying because there's nothing to dance to. Look at the top 40 right now. Is this what y'all want? These beautiful things that I've got, please. We haven't had fun club music or dance music in what feels like 700 years. Thank God for Afro pop fusion artists, as they're the only people giving us songs with a BPM above 10. The state of fun pop and fun club music is in such dire condition. Christina came back. Katie's coming back. Gaga is coming back. Do you know how bad things have to be for the legacy artists to say, fuck it, we'll do it ourselves? I want to dance on
So I thought it was funny. It's this rant this girl went on saying that pop music is so bad that there's no dance clubs anymore because, okay, if you're going to go to a dance club, you mentioned your daughter goes to along 604.
House or something.
The Stone Oak, right? So
right.
They're playing Bad Bunny. They're playing international music. They're not playing, I
don't know what they're playing, Mike.
They're not playing Too Close by Next, You're making it hard for me. They're not playing that. They're not playing Closer by 9 Inch Nails. They're not playing what we used to listen to back in the day. I want to F you like an animal. They're not playing that. They're playing international music. What this girl is saying is that when it comes to English music, there's just no dance music anymore. That's not like EDM. Just where you're going to have an epileptic seizure because it's so fast and the lights are flashing. Like, what happened to, just dance hits? And she's saying Gaga was last of it. Kesha was the last of it.
But when she says, the old schools are trying to bring it back, that's actually true. Because my kids nowadays, they're coming back and they're playing songs that I listened to back in the days.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. I was like, dude, why are you listening to that now when I tried to make you listen to it before and you would say, oh, that's old stuff. But now that their friends are doing it.
Mm-hmm. Sam Flynn is saying club music died when they started calling it EDM. And yeah, pop music is ass. I mean, EDM, and I've gone to I haven't been to, but the Electric Daisy Carnival in Vegas. I've been there at the same time, and it looks like a fun time, right? Like it seems like they're going to be high off their ass. but they're not going there to dance. They're going to go get high off their ass and just like melt in the sun. It's different, man. Jesse A coming out saying, Kesha, we need you. Dude, James Pledger, if you're listening, my boy, you and I love Kesha. Dude, I sing Kesha every time I go to your house.
I don't know that. You didn't even sing last time.
You know why? What's the name of your dog?
Timber.
And so whenever I walk into your house and your dogs greet me, I say the same thing. It's going down. I'm yelling Timber. Why? I sing Kesha every time I walk into your house.
Timber Lucas.
Because Timber's your dog.
Timber Lucas.
Dude, music is different, man. Music is different. Now, here's the thing. We had a guy. Remember I told you that a friend of mine got all mad at me, got all butthurt because of Trump? And again, I made light of the situation, not by saying this, that, or the other, by just saying, Melania, I'm here for you, girl. Or Pete Davidson is already hooking up with Melania, right? It's funny, right? It's fun. But they get butthurt. Now they're texting me, right? Guy reached out to me yesterday because he got mad because I mentioned that June 1 through August 15 is teacher mating season. And he came up to me on Twitter, this guy I've never met before, but he has followed me for a while, and says, I cannot believe you posted it. This is very, very condescending. This is very disrespectful to the teachers. You should be talking about how they're underpaid. You should be talking about how they need more resources and how there's bad funding. You should be talking about, and they're going, shut the fuck up.
He got turned down by one of them.
Like, seriously, calm down. Like, get a sense of humor. The Trumpers out there are getting mad because I posted a Melania gif. Get a sense of humor, man. Get a sense of humor. And I told this guy, and I'm very nice on Twitter. Dude, I get so much grief, more grief than 99.999% of people. And it's because I have a certain attitude. When I had my old radio show on San Antonio Sports Star and even here, I say things that people don't like because I call things out. Like I wasn't a big fan of Sohan and still kind of on the fence about him. Stuff like that, and it pisses people off, right? Kawhi Leonard, when his jersey retired, pisses people off. I get so much hate on Twitter. And I don't mind the roasted thing, all that. I don't care. But yesterday, I was on one yesterday. Because like yesterday, when somebody couldn't just he didn't come at me and say, oh, he did come at me a little bit. He was saying that I was an idiot and all that stuff. I don't care when people say that. But when somebody doesn't have a sense of humor and says that they hate me, why are they following me on Twitter? And if I'm popping up on their page, it's because they follow me and they read me. So it's kind of weird how that is. So I responded back with, seriously, STFU. You know? And then he got all mad, bent out of shape. And I said, the unfollow button's on the top right. Just click on it. Just click on it. Unfollow me. I don't care. You do things for clicks. I don't get paid for clicks. What the hell does that mean? And then what pisses people off, Sean, that they meet me in person, and guess what?
They love you.
They love me. Now,
pisses people off in person too.
But then they love me anyway. Now, talk to me about, we're going to be doing the UTSA tailgates. We have our season tickets to UTSA Roadrunner football.
We do, yes.
So a part of their schedule was released yesterday. Talk to the people about my behavior at UTSA football games.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Or you want the mic version?
Honestly.
I mean, it's hard to say. There's different types. I mean, you come in, most of the time huffing and puffing, sweating. It was a long walk.
Asshole.
and all of a sudden, this guy has Easter eggs in his pocket. And this is no joke. You're sitting there you want a shot. He goes, oh, yeah, hold on. And he starts reaching in his pockets and pulling out all these shots. He's got these cargo pants because they hold more pockets. They're not. But, I mean, that's basically what it is, man. We have a good time out there. We show up. We have some drink and we have some foods. His behaviors, that's good. You walk around. I'll say this. I've walked around with him twice. And both times, and this is what gets me. We're on the upper level getting shots one time. This guy comes up, hey, man, I love your show.
No, Jeff Garcia says I never get recognized.
No. So this is true. But his reaction was oh, thanks. That was it. Not hey, man, appreciate you watching.
Oh, dude, I always do that.
No, dude, And I want to say it's probably because your eyes were bloodshot red.
Oh, okay. If I'm drunk, that doesn't.
You probably had a few, but I was like, dude, this guy's telling you right now that he left your show.
Oh man, you're saying that I big time somebody?
No, man, you big timed him, bro. You big timed him.
No,
don't talk to me right now.
It's funny because I remember last year going to the UTSA football game and I'm midstream in a piss in a trough.
Yeah.
And this guy's pissing next to me. He looks over me and goes, dude, I like your show.
And you probably gave that guy more time of your day. I like what you're working with too.
UTSA schedule has come out for this upcoming season.
Did I get my tickets then?
Texas State, UTSA, that's a game to go to in San Marcos. Are we going to make the drive up I-35? And
We
which
are.
team do I cheer for? Because I got dual allegiance.
Bro, come on.
Dual allegiance. I graduated from UTSA.
But we're from San Antonio.
But and I'm from San Antonio, and I go to the UTSA games, but I lived in San Marcos, and I went to Texas State for 2 years. So I wear maroon a lot, and I wear the blue and orange a lot. I win either way. That's what I'm saying. The UTSA has a game against Kennesaw State, whoever the hell they are.
Which one is that one?
The game September 14th against the Texas Longhorns. HCU, the 21st. East Carolina after that. And they've got Rice, Florida Atlantic, Tulsa. Home game against Memphis. Home game against North Texas. They've got a home game against Temple. And then they're on the road against Army to end the regular season.
Dude, that Army game was crazy.
Dude, it's so great when San Antonio shows up for that, man.
You know, and when you had Frank Harris, and I remember like going to their first few games, and you're just like, dude, like, why isn't this guy playing? Get him out there. And then to hear his story, man, I just felt freaking horrible afterwards.
You felt weird the fact that he and I got along. The number of people who reached out and said, why does Frank Harris like have a liking to you? And Joe Garcia pointed out, he goes, people didn't realize that Frank Harris was 80% Jimenez. Like he called him my doppelganger. One of the great lines though was when I told him I was only 3 shades off of him.
Oh gosh, dude, that was hilarious.
I'm invited to the cookout, man. What can I say? Sam Flynn's asking the question, what year did you graduate from UTSA? Well, I graduated Holmes in 95. I failed out of SAC in 96. Went back to St. Philip's in 97. Ended up going to Texas State from 98 to 2000. Moved to Corpus Christi. Went to A&M Corpus Christi. While I was there, I was a news reporter over there. I was taking some small classes. Got hired as a news reporter in San Antonio without a degree, but I was a senior in college, and I finished up my last 3 semesters over at UTSA. But I didn't party at UTSA, though. You know, I mean, I would go to a friend's parties, Brian Ruiz, he and his friends, John and all those guys. We go to we go to the Oaks. Is that what it was called?
Dude, I don't know.
We used to get wasted over there. And so I partied over there, but I didn't party over there because by the time I went to UTSA, I was 23 years old. I was already in a committed relationship, and I was going to be getting married and all that stuff. So I didn't party over there. I partied at Texas State. You know, I partied a lot over there, and you know, we would go over there, party. They would turn off the lights in the quad at midnight, and we'd all drive to 6th Street, go party over there for 2 or 3 hours, and come on back, and then class the next day. It was good times, man. It was good times. I'll never be young again, dude. Never be young.
No.
Never be young. I told a story one time, tall tale, that that I used to be really good with tequila. Still am. I mean, I'm pretty good with tequila. I don't hurl when it comes to Mexico's finest drink. But there was one time I went to a party. I don't know if you remember my friend Israel. You remember Israel?
Yeah, Israel.
So Israel was my roommate in Corpus. He moved out there with me. And there was one night, he became friends with my coworkers at the news station. And there was one night when and this is the tall tale that I told before, but it's true. I get home from a night of reporting, and I'm doing a live shot or whatever, and I'm coming back home. And I get back home around 10:45, 11, and all my coworkers are there getting drunk. And he's having a party with my coworkers. And I'm there going, how am I not here, right? So I'm there enjoying a few drinks, whatever. And the tequila came out. They're like, oh, we're going to get you fucked up on tequila. And I'm like, dude, tequila does nothing to me. Nothing. Now, you've seen me drunk off my ass recently.
Yeah.
Okay? Tequila never does it for me. I get drunk on Fireball. I'll get drunk on bourbon.
Vodka.
Yeah, that will all, give me enough, I'll get drunk on it. Tequila, you can line them up for days. Does nothing for me. It's just like Shawshank Redemption, disappeared like up and disappeared like a fart in the wind, right? Tequila does nothing to me. So I had mentioned that to my friends over there, and I said, so much so that you can give me 10 shots and I won't get sick. And they're like, well, we'll line them up. And I said, I said, even better. I said, you can give me 10 shots. I'll go run a mile. I'll come back over here and be perfectly fine. I'll do your taxes. I don't care. Like, it does nothing to me. So they bet me that I couldn't take the 10 shots, run a mile, because right next door to my apartment complex, there was one building over, and then there was a middle school there. It had a football track there. So, 4 times around a mile. So I could get on. So because I'm like right now, I have the school that I live by right here, right? So I have no neighbors. I have my backyard. My fence line leads to the bus loop at the school. So it was very similar to that. And sorry about that. Anyway, they're like, you're not even going to be able to finish the 10 shots. I said, I'll run a mile. I'll do this and be back in 15 minutes and not get sick. You won't even get through the tequila shots. And there I am. Oh, they bet $50 each. So I got 6 people, $300 bet back in 2000. That's a lot of money for a 23-year-old, right?
$100,000.
Yeah, it's like about $1,000 in today's dollars, right? Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I probably downed all 10 shots in about 2 minutes. And at the time I was a younger guy. I could run a mile. Like right now, if you said what's the fastest I could run a mile, last year I did it in like 9:40, right? Probably I could run it right now in about, if I put on my shoes right now, I could probably run it 10:30, 10:20. Back then I was running 7-minute miles, And I ended up jumping the fence, going onto the track, and I ran 4 times around the track. I come back, I jump over, and I'm back in my seat, sweaty, and I'm there, and I got like 3 minutes to go. And they're like, oh my God, he did it. But the rule was I cannot throw it up. And they spent 3 minutes, all 6 of them, doing gagging sounds, hoping that one of them would like trigger me. And I just sat there like, $300 rich.
I don't know, man. 10 shots, that knocked me on my boo-boo. That'd knock anyone.
Well, but I think everybody has that one drink that
it's alcohol. It has nothing to do with drinks. Everyone says that, but it's alcohol content. How much are you consuming in your body? It has nothing to do with what kind it is.
Drew Show says a drunk guy remembering the 4 times he ran around a track means he barely made it 2 times.
If anyone's ever seen Beer Fest, he's buried when he comes out of the bar, all drunk and stuff. No, that's you right there, bro. You thought you were good, but they were probably laughing at you because you were all.
Nah, dude. Even to this day, tequila does nothing. It does nothing to me. Nothing.
No, I'll line up 10 shots tomorrow.
You give me 2 vodka. You give me 2 vodka drinks, 1 vodka drink, and I'm drunk off my ass.
It's the same alcohol content. I mean, what are you talking about?
It's just a different thing, dude. It goes down a different pipe.
Oh my God.
My liver processes it differently. It's because I had kidney stones. It reacts.
His liver discriminates.
Jesse A asked a question. Alcohol. What is the go-to drink at PF Chang?
Man,
PF Chang's.
I
always say Chang. I always leave the S off.
Oh, so if you're going for the happy hour, then I would just sit there and get something like if you wanted the beer for $5. But I mean, my wife's favorite is going to be what we call the Midnight Ritual back in the days, which is made with gin, and it has 2 ounces of it, so it's a pretty strong drink. We have the Rising Dragon, if you like a pomegranate margarita, has some rosemary smoke, so that's also pretty good. I don't know, man. There's a ton of drinks. Whatever type of liquor you want, just come on in. We'll figure something out.
What's the Japanese old fashioned made out of?
That's an Iowa 45 Japanese whiskey. Real good stuff. So I mean, it's just a bitter. It's just the regular bitters, orange bitters, the simple syrup. It's good stuff. And that has smoke though. And it does have smoke in it too.
And if you do go to PF Chang's, because not only is it a good place to drink, but there might be a lot of teachers there. Teacher mating season
from UTSA, you get the professor.
Begins tomorrow. Teacher mating season. Go get yourself an elementary school teacher.
Oh, gosh.
Go get yourself a high school teacher, middle school teacher, because I'm on the dating apps.
Love Undercover. One of them was a freak.
We do the dating apps, right? They're all teachers right now, and they all joined like this past week. You know why? They got to lock down a dude for the next school year. They've got from June 1 to August 15 to make it happen. They got to lock down the dude. They got to lock down the D. Meet the Teacher comes around. They're too busy. They're too busy.
Yeah, I guess that's our new happy hours. Meet the teacher. We'll call it that. Put a banner.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Teachers are interesting because I've dated some in the past.
Mm-hmm.
They're interesting people. They're nice people.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, but they're nice.
Every girl's crazy.
Hand over fist saying he hasn't been to P.F. Chang's since 08.
Come on over, buddy.
Now, not just any P.F. Chang's, the bar area at the one at La Cantera. Who knows? You might run into Goldberg there.
Oh,
Who knows? You might run into Frank Harris there.
Or Billy Madison is one of our regulars there as well.
Very cool. Very cool.
He likes to hang out at the bar as well.
I just realized it's Friday. What you got going on this weekend?
I'm working.
You always say
actually, I'm probably going to be taking off Sunday. So it could be a day with my boy, take him out to the driving range, show him how to swing the clubs.
Yeah, I suck at golf, but
Powered by Fireball.
Powered by Fireball is what the golf pro said. I actually have no plans this weekend. I'm just thinking about it. I normally have something set and ready to go. Maybe I'll do my packing for my trip because I've got 4 days of fun over there in Nashville, so I'm looking forward to that. Want to know how much work I'm going to do over there because one of my companies is based that I'm affiliated with.
Yeah,
is based out of Nashville. So I'm going to go check them out while I'm over there, do a little bit of work, a little bit of play. It's going to be 90% play.
Yeah, I'll be Carolina at the end of the month.
Not Carolina Teague, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
To go hang out with
my wife, like she is deployed, but she's stateside. So.
Oh, tell me what she did this past weekend. She was recognized, if you will, at a NASCAR event?
Well, yeah, it was the Coca-Cola 600 series that they had over there. Actually, Mr. Trump was there. So what they had is they had like the armed forces go because of Memorial Day, and some people had like the families of maybe some fallen veterans like on the car, but they had everyone announce the driver. So my wife pulled Ty Giggs, so he was the #1 driver. So it was real funny because someone wanted that person and was asking her to switch, and she said no. But, so she was the last one announced, but real cool stuff, man. It was awesome.
That's
a good experience
cool.
for her.
That's very cool. There's no video of it, just photos of her walking down the tarmac.
I have video of it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have video of it. I can share it with you. Now, you won't see her announce. You can hear her if you listen closely, but then you see her exiting with the driver.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very
they kind of look like a baby too.
Well,
a lot of them do.
We'll tell her thank you for her service, and
that.
thank you for you because you are holding it down with the kids at home and the dogs and all that stuff. And I know that she gets. We're all very close, and we all get to hang out with her, and she's fun to party with, man. She is. I know that she probably misses all of us because she hears she sees the drinks flowing, and she's like, wishes that she was there. But she's doing a good job, doing a very good job. Mario Cavasso saying that he's going to go to the Missions game tonight. David Robinson Mission jersey giveaway. David Robinson, one of the owners of the Santa Fe Missions, along with Manu Ginobili.
Oh, nice.
Sam Slynn is saying that he'll be there too. Maybe I'll go do that. Maybe I'll go to the Missions game.
Oh yeah, go eat a hot dog.
Mario's asking questions. What about the Italian restaurant at the Rock? Oh, asking me that question. So the Rock at La Cantera, which by the way I'm going to be at in an hour. That's kind of like my second office. So for those of you who don't know, I'm in finance. I do investments and stuff like that. I have one of my clients who lives in Kerrville that is going to come meet me. And I said, you have a choice. I could take you to the Rock or I could take you to my office because I treat the Spurs practice facility and the restaurant that is there, I treat it as my office.
Right.
And I go over there, I do business over there, and we're going to go over there. So right across the way, so at the Rock at La Cantera, they have the Spurs practice facility, they have the Spurs club, and then on top of that, they have the courtyard where people watch the games and the food trucks and all that. They opened up a new Italian restaurant. I was there last week. It hadn't opened yet. It was ready to go, but they needed to put in some new furniture, some additional furniture. So it's supposedly Tuscan, which if you ask me the difference between Tuscan and Italian, it sounds like the same to me.
I don't know, but Tuscan steaks are amazing.
Yeah. Drew's asking, is it Sean or Sean? Actually, none of the above.
Yeah. A-U-N.
It's S-H-A-U-N.
Hey, you know what, though? What did close? I don't know if this matters to anyone, but the Rustic.
Oh, the Rustic closed?
The Rustic closed.
That was a popular place for females at selfies.
So the traffic is just killing business over there. And,
Wow.
Yeah, they closed down, man.
The rims
they are no longer open.
The rim sucks.
Yeah.
Like it was cool when there was probably 50% of the stuff there. I used to go to Tiago's over there. That was good, man. That was a good place to go get a burger. They had the greatest tableside guacamole, but it became so congested there. Like, why is there a Target?
Hey,
Why
man,
is there
there's a lot of stuff?
Why
at
is
the
there a
rim. It's
Nord?
not horrible.
Why is there a Nordstrom Rack?
Oh, God.
Like it takes so long to get in and out of that place. It sucks. Now I am thinking about going with friends to iFly.
Okay.
I've never done that before.
I've never been there, but I've been to Andretti's. How do you say
Andretti's?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That was nice. That was a good experience. I took my son there some years back for his birthday and had a good time.
I might get my swim on. Hey, that's what I'll probably do this weekend is probably find an excuse to be at a swimming pool. Maybe go lift some weights a little bit. But dude, you're no longer a podcast virgin.
Nope. Popped it.
Very nice. What'd you think, Ben?
No, it's good. It was good. Appreciate y'all.
It was good. You know, this is what happens when you work with a semi-professional, you know? Hey, everyone have a fantastic weekend out there. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Tip the dealer if you want. Again, that doesn't go to my pockets. That goes simply to Joe to help fund the show and all of that stuff. You know, we have a need for cameras. We have the need for, because we want to take the show on the road. I was telling Joe the other day that I want to get this contraption. This contraption costs about $200 or so, about $160.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is that it takes my iPhone, puts it in a contraption. I can hold it like a steering wheel, and it has a microphone sticking out. So that if I go to a Spur game, if we decide to get Spurs media passes, that we go someplace and I can actually use it as a mobile camera service, like right where the microphone is not going to be the iPhone microphone. It's the microphone of the Sennheiser mic that jets out, and it's more professional. We can edit it better. We could take the show literally on the road if that's the case. That contraption costs about $160 or so. That's probably one of the next purchases that we're going to make. So whenever someone tips us $5 or $2 or $3, really it's going towards stuff like that so we can make this show better. We're 895 strong, 5 away from 900. Hope to get that by the end of next week. Then we move on to 1,000. I would like by the start of the NFL season to be at 1,000, and we can go party.
And you didn't want to say it, but I will. Let's hear it for our UT girls over there winning. So they'll be playing Saturday as well.
Softball.
That's
UT
right.
softball.
UT softball. Man, they did an amazing job yesterday.
And don't forget about that team from Alabama that doesn't have a school.
Oh, yeah.
That's what is it? Something Southern, whatever it is. I'm
You
gonna
already
follow it.
forgot.
Division III. That's what I need. And I hope Lenny Kravitz gets some ass this weekend. My name is Mike Jimenez. Enjoy teacher mating season, which starts tomorrow. That's Sean Quintero. Joe Garcia will be back on Monday. I'll be back on Monday. Follow along on Twitter. Don't be a dick on Twitter, dude. Don't be a dick. All right? I'm a nice guy. Okay? I'm a nice guy.
Peace, guys.
See you guys later.